Alrighty, so we have Roy G on Zorath on the top of our screens here, and we have Astro Squirrel playing a Blood Sapphire Dreaming Fox control deck on the bottom.
Yeah, pretty interesting here. I really liked Astro Squirrel's deck. We had him on camera a couple times, and I really like just the card selection is really good.
I think we saw. So the two times we had Astro Squirrel on camera today were actually just only two losses in the tournament so far. But they were both against Lasgar's Vengeance deck. So I think if you're looking for like a deck moving forward that could like be powerful and be doing interesting things, this Blood Sapphire Dreaming Fox deck seems like it could very easily fit that bill.
Yeah, certainly a good start.
That being said, we see one of the more powerful cards in this matchup come down from Roy G in the second turn of the game. Zenthos Malice. Just going to generate advantage along not only with Roy G's champion power, but also just on its own putting eggs into their deck.
Yeah, Roy G with the most powerful 2-drop probably in their deck, I think.
We found
our second Sapphire?
And we get to Into the Unknown with this Malice.
Very good.
Not only does this turn the Malice that's been returned to Roy's hand into something else, but all the other Malices are gone out of Roy's deck. So that's just not an avenue attack that's going to be available anymore.
Perfect. Alrighty, so Roy G going to go ahead and play an Exarch of the Egg down here.
How do we feel about playing Exarch on 3 versus the Bride of the Damned?
We watched Roy play earlier, and I think just wants to get full value out of the Bride, like if there's Thunderfield Seers and stuff like that. Just
try and make sure that you get a troop out of it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Ooh, we see a Smoke Claw Raker in here. This is probably
this
was previously Zenthos Malice here.
Smoke Claw Raker is the real deal, though.
This card's very good in these control matchups.
Yeah.
We played these as a one of occasionally Underworld Crusader decks, and it's very good in these grind to mid range matchup. When this 5/2 comes into play, you can either give it speed or make them discard 2 cards. So it's a threat that they're going to have to answer, and it's going to take 2 cards away from them.
Yep, real good.
Ugh.
Bride getting Hero Fold.
So the brides are all gone. The Zenthos Malices are all gone.
Yes.
This game's going to be a good exercise in can this Mono Blood deck win the game when most of its threats are no longer there.
Uphill slog.
We see Exalted Professor coming across the table here. Zubrin getting a little bit more camera time. With the Speed Gem in it, which means when this diligences next turn, we're going to generate a random action and get some value out of it.
I like it, definitely. So,
actually, do you think Strangle is reasonable here?
Yeah, I think so. You can probably diagnose that Astro Squirrel doesn't have a lot of threats that Strangle's going to be very good against, and you really don't want them getting up yet. You don't want them getting up on cards, and if they want to fight over it, so be it.
Then they're not fighting over one of your more important things. And, like, the random actions don't necessarily have a high card quality, but quantity with them is definitely something that's very real.
Yeah, definitely a problem. I believe most of the Bloodspinner Zorath's advantage in this matchup is by generating card advantage. Yeah, the Smoke Claw Raker.
And there's that Smoke Claw Raker coming down just into the unknown, being brutal. We lose our Alchemite and one of our 2 Hero Falls here.
Here we go.
And again, like, the Dreaming Fox deck is almost on empty here, and Bloodspinner Zorath lost 4 cards in hand.
Yeah, it's scary stuff. Alright, Smoke Claw Raker. How is this Culmination of Blood doing? Down to 6?
Just one more resource.
Shard can we get there? Non-slow shard? Nope. But still.
As far as draws
You know what that is? You know what that is?
Journey Nightmare?
I bet it, no, do you know what it is? I bet it's the Zenthos Malice.
No, they play some of these in the main, I think.
Do they? Oh, okay.
It's actually
cool.
Journey into Nightmare.
Whew, I was scared.
So Journey into Nightmare, powerful constant. It's going to let Roy G draw a card off of the Astro Squirrel's deck every turn. So basically, they're drawing 2 cards a turn here.
Yeah, this is really scary stuff here for Astro Squirrel. Just, like you said, almost on empty. Just a Hero Fall and a Mad Robomancer.
And there's an extra Dreadling in there, so even without that resource draw there, the Culmination was going to be online this turn. Maybe a small sequencing mistake on Roy G's part here. They get to Hero Fall the Exarch of the Egg now, whereas if you attack first, there's no way you Hero Fall that Exarch, so you technically missed 1 point of damage through sequencing.
That's fair.
You were going to lose the 1 out of your hand either way, which isn't a big deal, but you did miss a single point of damage.
Yeah, I agree. So, Astro Squirrel going to go down to 18 here. Roy G's still a nice, healthy 20. Lost in time.
And again, we mentioned the card quality on these actions is not terribly high, but eventually you could just overwhelm your opponent through the quantity of cards that you generate. A Weave into Nothing being pulled into Bloodspinner's last hands here. That is such a good way to lock up a game. When you're a little bit ahead, and you're like, how does my opponent catch back up? I have a no button for if they ever do.
Yeah, it's going to start getting pretty out of control here in the next few turns, it looks like. Roy G starting to turn the corner pretty nicely. Yeah, Vampire Prince, more
get
pressure.
To hold up that. And I like the no Blood's favor here. You get to hold that weave up just in case they have something to hurt your threat.
Perfect.
Whatever. Let's just get this game over with. Clock them.
Yep. I like it a lot. That was a good one. From the
we didn't mention it before, but the Grave Offering here is actually a pretty good value card as well
yeah.
as Malice turned into. This card has Empower, and for 8 resources you can return 4 troops from any crypts to your hand, which includes that Smoke Claw Raker that generated value earlier and this Bride of the Damned.
We're actually just a shard away from that, aren't we? The Empowered, yeah, so... Alright. Exalted Professor going to come in and put Roy G down to 18.
Oh, this was a generated
Yeah, it was a generated weave.
I didn't notice that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
more cards here.
Yeah, Astral Swirl got to be feeling like getting put under a mountain here, basically. It's not going
great. One of those, we're going to be a little bit sad when the second one comes down here.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, again, Roy G's just like drawing 2 cards a turn. This is going to snowball pretty quickly.
Yeah, we're under a pretty big lock here. Let's see if Zubrin can get a nice card. Ooh, Gruesome Deed. I mean, it's not the worst.
The 7/3 source does mean we get to activate our champion power.
Yep.
Maybe catch back up a little bit here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Runebind and Blood Shard, okay.
Runebind's not awful. They got to get this Journey into Nightmare out here somehow. It's just, it's not great right now.
And with the Exalted Professor, we're like kind of drawing 2 cards a turn on Astral Scroll side of the table, but one of them's just this random action that the card quality on, again, is just like not very good.
Yeah,
the Landing Point Sight getting milled there is kind of a boon, because you really don't want a Landing Point Sight when your opponent's drawing a card off of the deck of return. We Grave Offering come down here. Targeting cards in both players' crypts. Get a Mad Robomancer.
I like it a lot.
Because we drew a Sapphire Threshold off of Astro Scroll deck, so we can cast this Mad Robomancer.
Real big fan.
That's classy, I like it.
Had to Runebind that one. Yeah, and the thing is here is Roy G has 2 more resources in hand, which is going to make a second Dread Banner next turn. It's going to get pretty bad still.
And your Exalted Professor can't keep attacking now because you know they're going to trade the Thunderfields here for...
Wonder if it's worth it to Gruesome Deed this prince here.
I was wondering about that.
Oh baby.
Jeez. We rebound the Grave Offering, which then reverts it and turns it. If we weren't buried before, I think the 3rd card of turn is just
there was a Grave Offering, and it was Astro Squirrel is the offering this time.
Oh, look, we drew a resource off. It deals 2 damage because we've got 2 Vampire Princes. Yes, we get to cycle this coin to continue nickel and diming them. Oh, that's Prophecy.
Oh, it's Prophecy.
Oh, we missed the point of damage because we do have the Prophecy.
Oh, what a world.
Oh, and that's going to go ahead. Astro Squirrel's seen enough. We're going to go ahead and head on into the second game here of our semifinals. See if the Sapphire Blood control deck can go ahead and tie things up against the Mono Blood deck. And we already have 1 Mono Blood deck into the finals here. We might be looking at a Mono Blood mirror for the finals.
Yeah, we could be. It's certainly looking strong.
Astro Squirrel at the bottom here yet again, and we have a very reasonable 7 here. I think Alchemite's actually one of the better cards in this matchup. It allows them to kind of grind and generate card advantage by drawing a card every time it attacks.
Yeah, it could be good here. So Roy G's hand's actually pretty good too. We have the Primordial Cockatrice, Blood's Favor, and a pair of Hero Falls.
I'm really excited to see Primordial Cockatrice seeing more play. I think that card's very good, and like all these Blood decks have been playing, and I think that people are finally realizing just how good the consistency of a card like that is, as opposed to just like playing a bunch of culminations.
Sure, it's very good. Does things in the early game, and then the late game, it's just a nice 4/6.
The second Thunderfield Seer here is actually a pretty good draw. It puts like these mediocre beats on the table while also just like generating some card advantage down the line. Interesting. The Exarch of the Aegis on the deck. I suppose we did see Exalted Professor, right? So that makes sense. And that we've That weave is pretty.
That's a good one.
That's a no. I bet we're weaving most things into nothing next turn, except
it's such a problem. The Cockatrice.
You can't weave Cockatrice into nothing. Cockatrice refuses to go.
Yeah, the Cockatrice is.
This is such
boy.
It's a kick in the gut, right? Like
it hurts.
You're like I've got answers to whatever my opponent could do, and then they put a Cockatrice trigger on the stack.
Yeah, here I am.
Like, well, I thought I had answers to everything they could do. Turns out I was wrong.
Yeah, Astral Squirrel already looking like in a bunch of trouble here. Just on the 4th turn of the game, another baby, another Cockatrice.
You're just like snapping this, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Put him in the. We've got this. Weave draws 2 cards, but
does that matter? The problem is if it's not going to be enough. I don't think. I don't know. It could be.
It's tough because Astral Squirrel wants to draw some of their more powerful cards, but in order to play their more powerful cards, they also need to draw more resources.
Yeah. I assume, if I was right here, I am trying to discard the final card from their hand with the Blood's Favor.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and then
Astral Squirrel correctly identifies that they're probably going to make the discard and just snaps the weave into nothing here.
Yeah, Vampire Prince makes us land up on sight the Astral Squirrel drew.
Yep, just
really awkward.
Super embarrassing.
Now we get to put the foot on the gas here and come crashing into Astral Squirrel. Astral Squirrel draws.
We talked about Dream Call being awkward earlier. Maybe they knew that this mirror was just going to be this final was just going to be a bunch of Vampire Prince. They had the next level tech.
Yeah, it's really scary here. So Astral Squirrel's at 24 and facing down a pretty good board. Another Vampire Prince comes off the top for Roy G.
Prophesize Shard?
That'd be incredible. Oh boy. This is going to deal a pair of damage.
And draw a card because it doesn't revert it.
Oh boy.
And we'll do another coin.
Yeah, this is not pretty. Into the Unknown is good, but
not a clean. It's not even that good, right? Like it's not a clean answer at this point.
Not
like
doing much.
It's going to turn the Vampire Prince into a different problem card, most likely.
Yeah.
Psychic Ascension. You know what cards have been worse than everything else today?
Psychic
Ascension and Culmination in Blood have just they've been real stinky.
So now Roy gets to put Asher down to 15 with the coin. Man,
was this another grave offering from the?
Boy, oh boy. It's gotta feel really bad.
Into the Unknown.
Pair of Hero Falls. Yeah, you gotta start blocking at some point here. It's not great.
And Desperation blocks here. This tells me that Astral Squirrel must have Massacres in their deck that they're drawing to.
Yeah.
That's what that block would say to me, because the only reason to get my blocks in early like that, especially when I can play a 4-power troop, is if you have a sweeper.
I have a couple draws out of here. Gonna make an Oracle Song with Dreaming Fox. Gonna jam that down. Looking for Massacre. No, Runebind. Lots of trouble here. Lots and lots of trouble. Yeah,
and
just packed it up.
Squirrel's just gonna go ahead and pack it in. Congrats and condolences on your semifinals appearance, and congrats to Roy G on your finals of the Bash Hero Day. Let's head on into our Mono Shard, Mono Blood finals. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Don't go anywhere. Let's stay tuned.